Hey guys, this is Mr. Farrell. So I just wanted to give you guys some instructions on one of your assignments, especially since we didn't really get to it. This is something I wasn't able to explain, but I still wanted to explain it to you. So if we go to week 2, we're going to look at the virus CER. Now, if you had me last year, you guys did CERs. So this should just be a refresher. If not, this is the instructions how to do a CER. So we're going to open up both of these things here. So you have an article, and this is the article. And should just be the same stuff as your notes, but we want to use this for your CER. So first off, you would read through this article. This is talking about, are viruses dead or alive? We've talked about the characteristics of life and those 7 things. And so this goes through and talks about it, and it says living things must maintain homeostasis, and it talks about what homeostasis is and do viruses do that? And it talks about each one of those 7 things. Now, they may not be in the same order as we've talked about them, but that's okay. They're all the same 7 things. So you're going to read that, and then once you read that, you're going to complete the CER. So here's your question. Are viruses alive? And I'll put you a little hint. Think back to characteristics of life. So remember, the claim is an answer to your question. So what you could say is viruses are alive or not alive, whatever you think after reading and doing your notes and watching the Amoeba Sisters video. So that's your claim, your answer to the question. Viruses are alive, or you'll say viruses are not alive. The next thing would be the evidence. So remember, the evidence is the why to your answer. So if you said viruses are alive, the evidence is telling us why you think it's alive. Same thing with if you think it's not alive, the evidence is telling us why you don't think it's alive. So if we look down here at the sample, I kind of gave you some sentence frames and gave you guys some starters to sentences. So it says, according to the article, viruses do or do not. I've kind of left it open-ended. That way you can make the sentence however you want to do. So if you want to say viruses do have, and this is where you would put the characteristics. So viruses do evolve, or viruses do not have cells, whatever you think. And so you would put your evidence. And remember, like I said, this is the why to what you're said. So all these things. Now, don't just give one answer, one piece of evidence. Give multiple pieces of evidence. So all these pieces of evidence should agree with your answer, your claim. And then the last thing would be your reasoning. So this is, how does your evidence support the claim? In other words, how do these 2 things go together? So an example of this, you might say, if something is considered living, then it must have, this should be some sort of a number. How many of the characteristics of life do they need to have in order to be living? And you would talk about what viruses have or do not have. Do they have all the characteristics of life? Do they not have all the characteristics of life? And just keeping it real simple, therefore, it's considered living or not living. So I hope this helps. If you guys have questions on this, remember, you can always ask for help. Send me a message on Google Classroom or email. One of the better things, and I've had some people take advantage of it and some people haven't, would be doing a Google Meet. So remember, Fridays from 10:30 to 11 for you guys, we're doing a Google Meet. So hop on there and we can kind of work on it together, and I can walk you through it if you're having problems, or we can schedule it for another time. That's also another option. So I hope this helps.